Greetings. Welcome to Queen L LLC. This is Queen L. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today's video is regarding Pluto square the lunar nodes. And this is taking place on July 23rd. So this is a major aspect. And if you're not familiar with what planetary aspects are, I will link my video above. Basically, planetary aspects are made if you picture yourself here on Earth from wherever you are, and you draw an imaginary line from yourself out to any particular planet, and then you draw another line from yourself to another planet, and you think about the angle that is created between those lines from yourself being that central point. Now, those aspects, they mean something. There are different aspects such as sextile, trine, conjunct or a conjunction, opposing or opposition, quincunx. Then there is semi-square, and just so many things all in between those angles. Now, with regard to a square, which is what we're talking about today, a square aspect is essentially squaring up. It's a bit of a clash, but it does not have to be truly negative. What it means is there's a conflict between the energy that those planetary bodies are giving off, and there's a need for resolution. So it takes some work to work with those energies, okay? Now, specifically with Pluto, Pluto, as you know, is in retrograde right now. Now, Pluto retrograde started about a month ago. And if you're not familiar with the Pluto retrograde energy, I will link that above. Now, Pluto retrograde is currently in Capricorn. Pluto initially went into the sign of Aquarius, and we're in the age of Aquarius. However, with Pluto going retrograde, it essentially is reversing course in its orbit. And now Pluto is passing through the sign of Capricorn, which is where it was before it entered Aquarius. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, that essentially means that this is time to reflect and reset. It's time to really just think back on the time in your life since Pluto was originally entering Capricorn, which was in 2008, to think back on those years from 2008 until now, and see what work you have done, what growth you have, what elevation has taken place in your life since 2008. So to think back, to ponder on those times. Now, with regard to the true node, so true node is currently also in retrograde right now, and it's in retrograde in the sign of Aries. That's a recent change. So true node, if you're not familiar with the nodes, the lunar nodes essentially are the points where the moon's orbit intersects the sun's orbit. There are two distinct points. They are referred to as the lunar nodes. There is a north node and a south node, and the north node is also referred to as true node. Now, in your chart, there are placements for true node and south node. What you will mostly find when you're looking at apps, I'm not sure if apps even mention the lunar nodes. I always recommend pulling your chart on one of the websites online that are free. And specifically, I like astro.com. There are many others. You plug in your birth details, including the date, the time, and the location of your birth, and they'll pull a rundown of all of the planetary bodies that were in specific locations when you were born. They'll tell you the zodiac sign and the house on your chart where they were located. Now, I always like to let you know that I am available. I have services now. My booking site is open for August right now, and I always have my booking link in the description box. So if you would like someone to analyze your birth chart and to dig all into it and give you information about your chart, I would be honored to do so. So with regard to the lunar nodes, though, true node or north node, it represents the qualities that you have been tasked with embodying in this lifetime, the qualities that you should strive to embody. And where True Note is in your chart is the specific area where those qualities will be most relevant in your life. Now, in opposition of True Node is South Node. You won't typically see South Node listed in all of the things with all of the other placements, but just know South Node exists, and South Node is the direct opposite location of True Node. So if True Node is in the 4th house, South Node is in the 10th house. If True Node is in the sign of Pisces, South Node is in the sign of Virgo, etc. And that's just directly opposite in the chart. You could literally draw a line in the chart, the exact location of True Node. You know that South Node is a straight line across your chart. And South Node typically has the traits, the behaviors in your life that you need to release. A lot of astrologers believe that it represents some karmic lessons to be learned in this lifetime. So if the lunar nodes represent our karma, both in a positive and negative connotation, then True Node would be the qualities that you want to move toward. And South Node would be the qualities that you want to leave behind in your lifetime, okay? Now, with regard to True Node, it's currently in Aries, and South Node is in Libra. So with True Node retrograde being in Aries right now, that means that this is the time to reflect on those qualities with regard to what you want to work toward. So you're reflecting on the fact that either you have not been embodying those qualities and that's something for you to focus on moving forward, or to say, you know, yes, I have been. These are the ways that I've been embodying those qualities. It's a great time to work on your healing, healing from and growing from generational trauma in your life, because we all have some to a certain extent in different ways, depending on what that looks like for us as individuals, and also those karmic lessons. Now, with regard to South Node being in Libra, so Libra is about balancing the scales. It's about equality. It's about justice. With South Node being in Libra, it's fine time to balance out any of those, like I said, destructive behaviors, areas of your life that you need to kind of veer away from, any vices that you have that need to be released. And by all means, it's about finding the balance. It's about just kind of balancing those scales, so to speak, the yin yang. It's not about just completely going cold turkey and cutting out things that you know don't serve you. While yes, that is true, depending on what it is, you know, we're all individuals. In moderation, certain things are okay, but some, it's a little one, but some behaviors that you know, that I know, are destructive, that are not only not for my wellness, but are destructive to me and my wellness, that are hindering my wellness, those things actually need to be cut out and let go. Okay. With regard to Pluto being square lunar nodes, like I said, that's a conflict resolution. That's a, you know, we're facing it head on. All of the symbolism that you could picture between energies really needing to, you know, face each other and essentially square up. Pluto being square the lunar nodes, since there are two of them and they're in direct opposition of each other, that essentially means that Pluto is in the midst of them. Pluto is in the middle of that energy. So there's, you know, ahead of us what we want to embody, what we want to move toward, work toward, for our wellness, for our growth, for our overall being, for our benefit. And then there's behind us those things that we know we need to cut out. Well, Pluto is all about rebirth, regeneration, all about renewal, all about leveling up and evolving. And by Pluto being in the middle, Pluto is there to help us balance out that energy. So this square is really for our betterment. So if you feel some type of, angst with regard to this energy, just know to go with it, to grow with it. Don't fight it. Okay. Now, really, the question you should ask yourself is, what are you fighting that you know you need to do? Okay. What are you fighting against? What are you so resistant about doing with regard to your growth? What behaviors do you know that aren't for your wellness, but you do them anyway? Okay, that's something to ponder. Also, indulgence is enjoyable. A lot of it is. All of it is not, but a lot of it is. But with balance, like I said, just know that in excess, it does come with a hefty price. And the question to ask yourself is it worth it? So that is it for today's video. If you have any comments or any questions or any feedback with regard to this energy, by all means, please comment below in the comment section. But I will be in touch. Peace. Ashe.